What happens when a basketball phenom steps onto a completely different playing field and suddenly dominates it? That's exactly what happened with Caitlin Clark at the RSM Classic. For years, she's been the face of women's basketball, a prodigy who turns impossible three-pointers into routine highlights. But this time, Caitlin traded the hardwood for the green, and she didn't just participate, she stole the show. Fans of golf couldn't believe it. Pros couldn't believe it. Even casual sports enthusiasts were glued to their screens, witnessing a WNBA star who defied expectations in a sport she had only recently started taking seriously. Yet, while the applause from the golfing world was thunderous, her home league, the WNBA, remained eerily silent. No tweets, no shout-outs, no visible celebration. That contrast would set the stage for one of the most fascinating stories in women's sports in recent memory. Why did this happen? Caitlin Clark is a disruptor by nature. Her confidence, talent, and ability to shine under pressure have always set her apart. And for some, that can be uncomfortable. But for fans, Caitlin's journey isn't just inspiring, it's electrifying. She represents what happens when passion meets skill, and when an athlete refuses to be boxed in by expectations. The RSM Classic wasn't just another tournament for Caitlin. It was her proving ground, a place where she could show the world and herself that her capabilities extend far beyond basketball. Her opening shots immediately grabbed attention. From long, precise drives to uncanny accuracy on approach shots, Caitlin reminded everyone why she's called one of the most versatile young athletes in the world. But while golf fans celebrated her brilliance, some WNBA insiders were quietly fuming, setting the stage for a clash of perception versus reality that would dominate headlines. Before diving into her golf exploits, it's important to understand why Caitlin Clark's every move makes waves. The 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year has built a reputation as a fearless competitor. She doesn't just play basketball, she commands it, leading her team, making audacious shots, and carrying herself with a self-assuredness rarely tolerated in women's sports. Caitlin has been both adored and scrutinized in equal measure. From her early days in college, she was a prodigy, a player whose stats were record-breaking and whose highlight reels became viral sensations. But beyond the numbers, it was her energy, charisma, and sheer will that captured attention. She challenged norms, confronted expectations, and demanded that people recognize her talent. In doing so, she sometimes drew criticism from peers who weren't used to a young woman being so unapologetically ambitious. Yet that same fire and resilience carried her into professional basketball seamlessly. She arrived in the WNBA not as a rookie afraid to make mistakes, but as a player ready to leave a mark. And she did, scoring impossible threes, orchestrating plays like a seasoned veteran, and showing a level of leadership that belied her age. Caitlin's journey in basketball isn't just a tale of talent, it's a story of perseverance, defiance, and self-belief. So when she decided to step onto the golf course, the world already knew she was extraordinary. But nobody, not even Caitlin herself, could have predicted just how quickly she would become a sensation outside of basketball. What started as a casual pro-am event quickly turned into a cultural moment, a young athlete bridging two worlds and challenging everyone's expectations. It all started at the RSM Classic, a pro-am event that might have seemed routine to seasoned golfers. But with Caitlin Clark on the field, it became anything but ordinary. She paired with Ryder Cup legend Zach Johnson and PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan, instantly attracting attention from fans, media, and even other professionals. Her aura was magnetic. Every step, swing, and smile drew eyes, cameras, and admiration. Caitlin's skill was undeniable. Her drives were precise, her focus unshakable. Even when she misfired, like that early shot into the water hazard, she simply laughed, refocused, and delivered flawless follow-up shots. That combination of skill, grace, and resilience is what separates exceptional athletes from unforgettable ones. By the second hole, whispers turned into cheers, and spectators began to realize they were watching something historic. The crowd wasn't just impressed, they were inspired. Fans lined up for autographs, young athletes looked up to her in awe, and parents marveled at her composure and charm. Even seasoned golfers acknowledged her prowess. Jay Monahan called her transcendent, a word reserved for the rarest talents. Zach Johnson praised not just her skill, but her humility, noting that her character was just as impressive as her game. But as the applause echoed across the greens, a stark contrast unfolded on social media. The The WNBA, the league that had built Caitlyn into a household name, remained silent. No celebratory posts, no shout-outs, nothing. And that silence wasn't accidental. It spoke volumes about internal league dynamics, perceptions of ambition, and perhaps envy. While golf celebrated a rising star, basketball insiders hesitated to embrace her crossover success. Caitlyn's performance wasn't just remarkable, it was historic. Yet while golf fans were lighting up social media with praise, the WNBA's response, or lack thereof, was deafening. There were no congratulatory tweets, no stories highlighting her achievement, not even a single acknowledgement from the league. For a player who had already carried immense weight on her shoulders in basketball, this silence was telling. Some speculate it was jealousy. Caitlyn's natural charisma and skill had made her a standout, drawing more attention than many expected. Others argue it wasn't envy, but discomfort, a recognition that Caitlyn's self-assurance and ambition challenged established norms in the league. For a young woman excelling outside basketball, perhaps some felt threatened. Whatever the reason, it was clear. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just playing golf. She was forcing a conversation that some weren't ready to have. Her peers' responses added fuel to the fire. Tweets hinting at staying in your lane or critiquing her attention-seeking behavior surfaced. These comments, subtle yet pointed, painted a picture of a league struggling to reconcile admiration with insecurity. Caitlyn's rise, it seemed, was revealing as much about the WNBA's internal politics as it did about her own talent. Yet amidst the criticism, Caitlyn remained calm, focused, and graceful. Her attitude reflected not just confidence, but an understanding that success is its own validation. Where others saw threat, she saw opportunity. Where others saw jealousy, she found motivation. And in doing so, she reminded fans why she had become one of the most compelling figures in sports today. While her own league hesitated, the golf world embraced Caitlyn with open arms. PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan repeatedly praised her, noting her skill, humility, and competitive fire. Legends like Zach Johnson admired her composure and ability to shine under pressure. Every swing, every putt, every interaction with fans reinforced her growing status as a transcendent athlete. For golf fans, Caitlyn wasn't just a novelty, she was a revelation. Here was a young woman stepping into a new sport, effortlessly connecting with audiences and inspiring a new generation. Her presence brought fresh energy, attracting fans who might never have followed golf otherwise. Parents encouraged their children to watch, and social media exploded with admiration. Caitlyn wasn't just crossing over, she was bridging entire sports communities, uniting audiences through her charisma and talent. Even casual spectators noticed her discipline and poise. When she drove 270 yards down the fairway or executed precise approach shots, the crowd erupted. It wasn't about a single stroke, it was about the statement she was making. Caitlyn Clark was proving that passion, skill, and determination don't belong to one arena. They belong to anyone willing to rise to the challenge. This enthusiastic reception highlighted a stark contrast with her home league. While golf celebrated Caitlyn's rise, the WNBA's silence seemed more glaring than ever. Fans online started taking note, praising Caitlyn for her versatility and courage, and questioning why her own league wasn't doing the same. The story had taken on a life of its own, far beyond the golf course, sparking discussions about ambition, recognition, and the future of women's sports. Of course, not everyone was cheering. Some WNBA insiders made subtle comments online, suggesting Caitlyn was seeking attention or overshadowing teammates. One athlete went as far as to say golf wouldn't fill the seats at WNBA games. But these remarks only highlighted the contrast between criticism born of insecurity and genuine achievement. Caitlyn's response was telling. She didn't fight back. She didn't explain herself. She simply focused on the joy of competition and the thrill of mastering a new challenge. Her resilience under scrutiny became a lesson in itself. Where others saw hostility, Caitlyn found motivation. She understood that her ambition might provoke discomfort, but her actions and integrity would always speak louder than words. Her humility, coupled with a relentless work ethic, inspired fans and competitors alike. Every drive, every swing, every interaction on the course reinforced a simple truth. Caitlyn Clark isn't chasing validation. She's pursuing excellence. And in doing so, she's redefining what it means to be a modern athlete, versatile, fearless, and unafraid to step beyond conventional boundaries. Caitlin Clark's journey isn't just about golf or basketball. It's about inspiring the next generation. Children lined up to meet her, young athletes idolized her, and parents saw in her a model of determination and courage. Her presence highlighted that sports aren't confined to one field, one team, or one expectation. The RSM Classic became more than a tournament. It became a cultural moment. Caitlin's charm and skill connected audiences across age groups, gender, and sports. She demonstrated that women athletes can transcend boundaries, inspire fandom, and break stereotypes. And while the WNBA failed to seize this moment, Caitlin's influence only grew stronger. Her crossover appeal is undeniable. Fans now watch golf and basketball, discussions online bridge the two, and Caitlin's story is becoming a blueprint for how young athletes can diversify their impact. She's a role model not because she followed the rules, but because she rewrote them. So what's next for Caitlin Clark? The future is wide open. Will the WNBA finally embrace her success, or will internal politics continue to stifle recognition? Could we see her compete in more pro golf events, or even bigger tournaments? One thing is certain, Caitlin isn't waiting for permission. She's carving her own path, and the world is watching. Her journey challenges assumptions, inspires fans, and proves that success isn't defined by approval. It's defined by courage, resilience, and the willingness to step beyond comfort zones. Caitlin Clark's story is more than a sports headline. It's a cultural moment, a masterclass in confidence, and a roadmap for young athletes everywhere. And as she continues to defy expectations, one thing is crystal clear. The world will be talking about Caitlin Clark for years to come.